Hey. Since my last video, there's been a long break, and that was because multiple things have stopped me. But today I will be telling you why I've not been uploading and what's going on, pretty much. In my EON MK1 launch video, if you haven't seen that, it'll be linked in the card up here. I said I will be back next month to try again, but of course it's now more than a month. It's a couple of days after a month, and there's not been a video out, and you might have been wondering why that is. And it's because about 2 days before launch, it started raining, and that rain just kept on for the next 4 days pretty much. So I had to skip the launch. But that luckily gave me more time to prepare for the next launch, which will be happening in about a month in April. Also, I didn't launch because the week that it was supposed to launch I had COVID and I felt terrible, so I couldn't even talk for a video, which would not be very good, so yeah. So let's take a little bit of time to talk about the next flight, and what's different about it and what is the same about it. This time, let's start from the bottom and work our way up. During February's launch, I was suggested by one of the people at the launch site to use a different tool to screw in my motor retainer better, and this is exactly what I did. These two holes here are for a 3D printed tool that I can screw in the motor retainer much better into these fins. Speaking of the fins, these are the exact same fins that flew on EON Flight 1. And after the flight, I looked at them and inspected them, and there's no huge damage, so I just reused them because they're still in perfect condition. Everything inside the rocket, from the parachute setting up at the top to the Kevlar lines running through it, those are all the same, the exact ones that flew on EON Flight 1. And this is because I wanted to save time and money, and why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Although you may notice one major difference with the body of the rocket here, as it is a different colour. Here is the body of EON Flight 1, and you can see it is much lighter in colour, the new one. This is because I used a different body tube. I wanted to use the same craft phenolic body tube as EON Flight 1, but they didn't have any more in stock. Craft phenolic is basically cardboard soaked in resin and then hardened, so it's much stronger. Because there was none in stock, and it wouldn't be in stock for the next 2 months, I thought I just had to use the next best thing, which is a cardboard tube. And it may sound like it's easily broken and stuff, and it is, but I have trust in it and I believe it will work. Moving along and skipping over the camera bay, we have the nose cone, which is the exact same one that flew on EON Flight 1. And again, it's perfect condition, so why not keep using it? And finally, to the camera bay, is where most of the things have changed. And what has changed might not be what you're expecting. In large-scale rocketry, the term payload refers to whatever scientific or cargo-based objects the rocket is carrying for research or mission purposes. And EON Flight 2 is no different. It will have my own payload on board. This is the camera bay from EON Flight 1, and I've kind of destroyed it so I could get some parts for the next rocket. But if you look at how the GoPro in here sits inside the camera bay, it sits in there with all that extra room behind it. And I thought, why not utilize this? And that's exactly what I did. So I have made Neuron, this flight computer here. It is an Arduino-based dual-deploy rocketry flight computer. It is capable of data logging, telemetry, and parachute deployment. It sits on this 3D printed frame, which is called the sled, and it fits perfectly behind the GoPro inside the camera bay. On board Neuron are two main sensors, an accelerometer to detect g-force and a barometer to detect altitude. These two sensors work together to work out the rocket's state, its speed, and its altitude, which are super important for deploying the parachute. Earlier, you may have noticed that in the camera bay are these 4 holes spaced evenly around the walls. And this is to let air in and out of the camera bay. This is because barometers use air pressure to work out altitude, and if the rocket is fully sealed, then the air pressure won't change, so you need to let these holes equalize the air pressure. For the first flight of this flight computer, it will not be controlling the parachutes. This is because EON MK2 is still going for my level 1 certification, and I do not want a sketchy, barely working flight computer to be in control of the parachutes. And this is, well, pretty obvious that I don't want to lose the certification attempt, which, if it goes well, it should work and I should get my license. But the flight after that will be to test this computer's capability on deploying the parachute. This video is quite short, and it's been a long time since my last video, so I quite strongly apologize for that. And hopefully next month there will be a video releasing of me launching this rocket behind me and it showing it working. And I'm super excited for that, and not as nervous as I was the last time now that I'm a bit more prepared and I know what I'm expecting. But until next time, I wish you all a great day, and thank you so much for all of the support you've given me. It's really keeping me going, pretty much. We're gaining subscribers faster than ever now, which is amazing, and it just makes me so happy. So if you're feeling nice, please go subscribe. It really helps me a lot, and it's completely free. And also make sure you check out some of my other videos, as they're quite interesting. And if you haven't seen EON Flight 1, it'll be showing on top of me right now. And you just click that and it will take you straight to the video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. During February's launch, although you may notice one major shift. And if you're looking at how the I present to you Neuron. In large-scale rocketry and aerospace, holy, it's so hot in here. Okay. The amount of times I've nearly dropped this rocket. If I drop this, it's gonna just break, I feel like, but hopefully it doesn't. Whoa. For any of you still watching at this point, these are the same buttons on the back of it to connect to the rail as EON Flight 1. Just reusing everything I can. It's basically the exact same rocket. Oh, I forgot to mention also, it's like 6 centimeters shorter than EON 1, which doesn't really matter, but it should be okay. Outside my workshop is absolutely a mess. Look at this. Here we go. Outside my workshop, it is a mess out there.